Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Before I begin this video and you'd like to use OCD Recovery's coaching services, please reach out to phil@ocdrecovery.com and he'll get back to you as quick as he can. So today guys, I wanted to speak about going deeper with beliefs. When we dispute our irrational beliefs, right, it's important to go the extra mile, to go that little bit deeper rather than just keep it surface level, just to really attack and to really break down your belief that is currently causing you a lot of fear and a lot of misery, a lot of anxiety, etc. So really just getting to the roots of those beliefs, coming at the belief from lots of different angles as well, which is very important. Okay, so I'm just gonna, the way I see it, with going deeper with beliefs, right, it's threefold. Okay, so one is when we exaggerate the negatives, two is ignoring the positives, and three is overgeneralizing. So I will go through each one of those step by step. Okay, so firstly, exaggerating the negative, right? When we have an irrational belief, it might be our particular core fear, that strong, rigid demand. We tend to catastrophize it to the point where it's 100% awful. We say something is the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen. If it happens, my life's ruined. If it happens, it's the absolute end of the world. There's no coming back from it. Okay. Another way of saying it, we could say that it's infinitely bad, right? So for an example, you might say, it's 100% awful that I don't feel love in my relationship for my partner. I don't have that feeling that maybe I once had. So having that reality or facing that reality is absolutely awful. It's the worst thing ever. It's infinitely bad. But when we look at it from that angle, to say something that is awful, you're saying that it couldn't be worse, but clearly it could be worse, right? Imagine you was in a relationship, you didn't feel love, and you're simultaneously you're stuck paralyzed in a hospital bed. You can't move, and you're breathing into an oxygen mask, and you don't have the use of your legs, right? Imagine that. So it could definitely be worse. Okay, when we're saying something's infinitely bad, it's like saying I could have an infinite amount of money, but even that's not true, because you could always have more, right? You're never going to get to a point where you have that infinite amount of money. So that's just an example. Okay, so that's important to consider. The second part, which I said, is ignoring the positive, right? So you'll find that even when you think something is very, very bad, that you can still find a positive aspect to it. So imagine in harm OCD, and you're breaking down, causing harm to someone, right? So yes, of course, it's not great, right? If you cause harm to someone, yes, as society states, it's not great, right? However, what you could say in terms of looking at the positives for that, you could say, well, even if I have caused harm to somebody, something good could come from this. So for example, you could learn or sort of see why that you caused harm, or you could seek to rehabilitate, learn from your mistakes, and then in future not cause harm again, and actually improve your impact on society, right? So that's just one example. You'll find there's always a positive aspect to what you have done when you look deep enough, right? Another example, say you're just going back to the relationship example, say that you're in a relationship and you don't feel love. Well, is there some sort of positive that you could have from that? Well, you find that yes, there is, because a relationship is only a part of your life and not life itself. So you'll find that you can still gain happiness and positivity in other pursuits. Maybe you've got a nice hobby, maybe you've got a good group of friends, maybe you've got some nice parents you can spend time with, maybe you can still eat your favorite food, etc. So you always have to look at the positive aspect. Another example, say you're in a wrong relationship, or in a relationship that feels wrong, and you may, obviously this is not the right answer, but you end up splitting up with them. Maybe they break up with you because they see that you've been off. You could then you then sort of be excused from experiencing all those downsides that your partner may have. Maybe they're a bit bit controlling, a bit annoying. Maybe you can find another partner that you're that isn't like that, you know. So there's always these different positive aspects that can these positive aspects that can materialize, right? And then the final part is overgeneralizing. So that's when you excuse me, that's when you apply the global rating to universal different definitions to yourself based on one thing. So you might say, in this real event OCD, because I've said XYZ to my friend 5 years ago, and I made them feel bad, this means that I'm a bad person. This means my entire self is bad, right? And that is a key aspect when you're breaking down your irrational beliefs, you know, giving yourself a global rating, looking at the fact that, well, you know, we're human beings comprised of thousands of different acts, traits and characteristics, and just because we've acted so-called badly in one moment, it's difficult to define our entirety as bad. It's like saying, you know, a professional tennis player, they're not actually a professional tennis player. Yes, they are a person who plays tennis professionally, right? But they also have many other acts, these traits and characteristics. So there might be someone who enjoys going for walks. There might be someone who helps raises their family. There might be someone who listens to music. So that's a key part of irrational beliefs as well, overgeneralizing, right? We just need to be able to separate the acts from the entire human, because we're too complex to give a global rating to, right? And that's a key part of Albert Ellis's rational emotive behavioral therapy, right? And then just another example of going deeper with beliefs. So maybe you have this strong irrational belief. So going back to the relationship example, so you say that I must feel this particular way towards my partner, and then you might say, as is sort of customary with Rept, you might say, well, what evidence is there to support this belief that I must feel this particular way? And then you can go a step further by saying, well, you know, why must I feel this particular way? Why? Like, just question why. Why are you holding such an irrational belief? Like, what makes you think that you're exempt from experiencing something like that? Yeah, just to be clear, when you say what evidence is there to support this, it's not to come from a reassurance standpoint of saying, where's the evidence I'm in the wrong relationship. It's looking at the evidence of your irrational belief, whether it exists or not. So that's key. Yeah, so there's some important points to consider, guys, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.